Hello, beautiful hearts. Dr. Arias here. In honor of Pride Month, I wanted to do a video in regards to individuality. I work with various generations, but over the past year, more and more youth have found their way to me, and working with them, I'm seeing a commonality amongst all of them. And it's not just the youth. If we really get honest with ourselves, it was for our generation and generation and generation. And what is that? That is beliefs and perceptions that parents and adults put onto the youth. And again, there's no judgment, no fault. It's how we were raised. But if we stop and just think, does this work? Do my beliefs as a parent really work for my children? Our children have come in, the youth of today is very different than any other generation. That's by divine purpose. They're here to make a difference. They're here to help change the world for the better. We've had thousands, millions of years of just absurdity, cruelty, war, famine, stuff that is not even part of our nature. We are love, we are peace, we are joy. Where does all this other stuff fall into? At some point, we have to stop and ask ourselves, where's the disconnect? And if we keep going as we always have without asking these questions and looking at our youth and telling them, here's the plan. Here's your 50-year plan. You go to high school, you go through school, graduate high school, immediately go into college, find your career. Out of college, get in your career and just keep going, and life is going to be great. That doesn't work anymore. That's not how it is. Look around you. Life is moving so fast. Things are changing so fast. Technology has really changed our world. But where did that technology come from? It came from the creative people who wanted to make a difference in the world. Our children want to make a difference for the better. They don't want the status quo that we've lived under, that we've just accepted. The majority believes this, you got to believe this, you have to have an opinion for this, this is right, this is wrong. What if we're actually living in a world where there is no right or wrong? It just is, and thinking makes it so. Our kids, whether most of them realize it or not, they already have that mentality and that belief. What I'm seeing is bright, creative, amazing minds in youthful bodies that really have a heart of love. But the adults aren't listening. Working with the youth that I'm working with, identity is huge. Trying to figure out where they fit in. How do they fit in? Are they in the right body? Are they, falling in love with the right people? There is no right or wrong. These bodies, these physical bodies that we live in, they're our earth suits. That we are not them. Our children are not their bodies. Parents, I want to help ease the burden. I want to help give you hope and educate you that you did not create the personality of your child. We are all light beings, spirit beings. Whenever we come into this life, we take on a physical body. The parents create the physical body to house that spirit. But that spirit has always existed. It existed before this lifetime, and it'll exist after this body. If we can get that concept and really grasp it, so much can be relieved. So many pressures and false perceptions. If you have a child that has fallen in love with the same-sex partner, why are you tripping out so hard? You don't have to agree with it. You don't even have to like it. But the basic human necessity for everybody is honor and respect. And you need to honor and respect your child. You're going to watch what honor and respect will do more than condemnation and criticism. Condemnation, criticism, blame, guilt, shame, even denying what your child is trying to express to you, that they want to be seen as a person. That is very detrimental, and it creates a bigger gap and a wedge between you and your child, how your child sees themselves, how they relate to the world. You know, you don't have to like it. You don't have to accept it. But can you at least show your child that you love them unconditionally and allow them to be who they are, whatever that is? Because you don't know what their future holds. And if you're trying to sit there and mold them and stick them in this box, you don't understand what's going on inside, the battle that's going on for them to be that individual they desire to be. They have a plan and a purpose. They came here with that. Your job is to nurture and show them love and unconditional love, whether you agree with it or not. Speaking from a previous generation, growing up in the 70s and 80s was really a pivotal time. And I know each generation there has been pivotal times and things that have gone on. But identity, whether people were talking about it or not, has always been huge. Things have changed and we've evolved so much energetically and thinking wise that the status quo is not okay. It's not working. It's broken. You know, if you listen to some songs that came out in the 80s and even the 90s, you know, about the parents' generation, the kids are here to correct what we did, what we screwed up. You know, the kids today, they don't want to keep going to war. They don't want to keep fighting these battles that just, they don't even make sense. You know, if we could all really step back and just look and listen to what the youth has to say outside of our perspectives and beliefs that were put onto us. You know, growing up, my generation, children should be seen, not heard. What the hell is that? That doesn't even make any sense. You know, and I just see so many parents, again, no fault to the parents. They're doing the best that they can with what they have. They weren't taught this information, so the best that they can do is to pass on more of the same. But the generation of today, they're here to change all that. We need to stop and listen. For the parents, you know, there is so much experience that you've gone through, so many different things growing up, how you were raised, you know, what people told you. The best advice that I could give to you is to turn within. Ask yourself questions. Do you love unconditionally? Does it really matter who your child falls in love with, who your child decides to be? You know, if you have a male child and they're not comfortable being male, they want to be female. Does that change your love for your child, who your child is? You know, especially when you grasp the concept that you didn't create that personality. You created the physical body. These physical bodies, there are earth suits. We are light beings. To be on this earth, we have to have a suit. You want to go to the moon? You need a moon suit. You're here on earth. You have an earth suit. You know, the full truth that you're not going to get in religion and the education system of today. You really need to look for the new thought leaders of today that are leading this generation, all to crush and bring down the belief systems that have kept us like caged animals. And that is, we're not our bodies. We're not our physical appearances. That's part of our individuality, and we get to choose what that looks like. You know, your child wants to dye their hair pink on one side, purple on the other, and a green stripe down the middle. Let them. What really does that affect? You know, individuality is something that on the layer has been taught, oh, be yourself, be yourself. But everything around that says the opposite. Oh, well, if you have, you know, pink, purple, and green hair, that's going to be a distraction in school. You can't have that. You know, everybody has to look the same, you know, and all these uniforms at school, so there's no judgment, no bullying. So there's a double-edged sword, a double standard. That shit needs to stop. We are here to be individuals. We are all of the I am creator race. We are here to create. And the youth already know this. And it's the adults that are really holding them back and causing more confusion within them. So parents, I ask you, from one parent to another, spend some time with yourself. Look within. Ask yourself these questions. You know, the world that your child is growing up in isn't the world you grew up in. Have you grown with this world? Are you still stuck in your belief pattern, your perspectives of how it should be? And if you are, how has that worked for you? How free are you in your life? Are you still judging yourself? Judgment always starts with ourselves. Your cells are listening. If any of you have followed me for some time, you know that's my big thing. And it crosses everything. It doesn't matter the topic, because your inner dialogue with yourself is written on the billions of cells that you have, and that has to outplay. So if there's lack in your life, you're unhappy, things aren't working out the way that you wanted, it starts with you. Look within. How are you judging yourself? And in that judgment, are you passing that off on your kid? Are you wanting the best for them, but then sabotaging that by telling them, oh, well, you need to do this. You need to do this. You know, don't make the mistakes I did. Let them be free to make mistakes, to let them find their way, however that looks. Because you know what? The bigger truth is, if we're not evolving every day, if we're not striving to be better than we were yesterday, we're stagnant. Stagnant waters create disease and death. Don't add that to your child. Let them be free to be who they are, however that shows up. You know, it's an amazing role to be a parent and to be able to help guide and help create a safe environment, not a physical environment, but a safe internal environment for your child, to let them know, hey, what you think of, what you think on, you become. So if the beliefs and the perspectives of the adult is coming across that it's not okay for them to be who they want to be, that's creating division and turmoil.
With working with the youth, what's one of the most common complaints or problems that you see arise?
I can get pretty specific on this, and this is, like I said, it's very common. When the youth go to their parents, and keeping with Pride Month and in honoring of that, a daughter goes to the parents and says, I think I'm a lesbian. The parents freak out. You know, maybe one is more accepting and the mom isn't. You know, because the mom has these preconceived ideas of, well, my dreams and hopes for you were that you would, you know, go to college, get a great job, marry a good man, have children. Right there, that was the mom's beliefs and wishes for the child. What if that child didn't want kids, didn't want a career, wanted to be an artist, wanted to do something else? Just by saying those things and putting that energy on the child, what's coming across is, you're not good enough, it's not okay, you have to do it this way for me to love you. And that creates a whole different family dialogue. And it doesn't have to just be that one scenario. But a child shouldn't fear going to a parent and expressing their wishes and their desires for their life. And especially in the teenage years. The teenage years are hard enough as it is. When you're getting ready to graduate high school, go on to whatever the next phase is. I mean, you've spent, 12, 13 years in school thinking you're learning stuff. What did school really teach you? Memorization. But it gave you some concepts. But now you're at a precipice of, one hand, the world is your oyster. What do you want to make of it? And then you start expressing what you want to do. And then your parents are like, oh no, this is how you need to be. This is what you need to do. Don't take time off. Rush into this. Parents, you lived your life. Let your children live their lives. You can guide them, but keep your opinions to yourself. Find out what it is. Why does your child want to live life that way? You never know what hurts and past trauma and bondage that you're living in, that just listening to your child express their individuality and they want can help you. You lived your life. Don't live your life through your child. That's not your job. It's not your responsibility. And honestly, it's toxic and it's disrespectful and it's not okay. You have choices in your life, things that you did that you don't like, you want to change. That's your responsibility. That's your life. You take that and fix you. You were guardian of this vessel. And at 25, up until 25, you really have a lot of influence on your child. 25 is a magical age, whether you realize it or not. And at that point, you really don't have a say in their life anymore. And you get to the point where you can accept their choices and it not affect you. You can love them, let them be. You can always be positive, always encourage them, even if you don't believe or agree with what they want to do. Give them that freedom to find out life on their terms. But live your own life, your way, not through your kids. In closing, I really just want to stress to the youth, be who you are. And if you're watching this and you're questioning, going, well, I don't really know who that is, that's okay. It's part of your journey. Don't be afraid to try different things. Again, life is infinite. We're meant to evolve, not in the way from a monkey to a human, but every day striving to be better. If today you want to be an artist, you try it out and then you find out, maybe that's not what I want to be, next year. That's okay. Everything is an experience. If you take anything away from this video, understand that life is experiences. Whatever choice you make, it's an experience. Don't beat yourself up for them. Take the experience. If you didn't like it, make a different choice to have a different experience, because what you feel, you make real. Your thoughts really do create your tomorrow. So what you're thinking on today, when you attach a feeling to that, That's what's going to play out in your tomorrows. You don't have to live life up to chance and just throwing the dice, whatever's going to happen. Qualify the energy every day when you wake up in the morning. Today I'm going to be happier than I was yesterday. Today I'm going to make a difference more than I did yesterday. Today I'm going to be the best I can be today. You know, don't get overwhelmed with the whole what's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? It's gonna change. Don't get hooked up on that. Be the best that you can be today. And remember, whatever you're thinking on today and feeling, when those two come together, that's a magic potion right there. You want to be an artist, you know, you want to be a chef, astronaut, I don't care what it is. Feel it in every cell of your body. Speak positively. Your words have power and it will create your tomorrows. If you can test this out on yourself. Where you're living at today, the situations you're in, if you spend some time and think about last month, a year ago, you're going to find your thought patterns have led you to where you're at today. That's the way of life. You have the power within your thoughts and feelings to chart your own course. And if you're a youth that your parent isn't on board with your choices and you're going through the struggle of their emotions, their energy, their disrespect, the youth of today has a big calling on their life to make a difference. And it's true, a lot of the older generation, they're stuck. They don't know how to change. You are the voice of change. Love them for where they're at. Know, and you have to honor and respect them as well in their beliefs. And just say, I love you and I respect you. I disagree. But in that disagreement, I need honor and respect as well. You need to show the love. You know, one thing that I'm big on is you be the change that you want to see. If you're a youth that your parents aren't showing you that, you step up and just say, you know what, Mom, Dad, whoever it is, I love you for who you are. I just ask that you love me for who I am. And there may be the topics that you guys just can't discuss at this time. That's okay. Just be who you are. Strive every day to be better than you were today, and you'll be fine. You will make it. You are here to create your own path. Go out and create it.